Rachel Maddow went to Dick Cheney's funeral yesterday. We can do this, people. It's Thanksgiving. Do yourself a favor, get over yourself, and go have it with your family.
The far left has now set its sights on Thanksgiving, and it's getting hard to ignore. First Halloween, then Father's Day, and now Thanksgiving has become their latest target. As usual, Ma uses his sharp humor and fearless style to call out this relentless campaign against simple, joyful traditions. There's plenty to discuss here, so let's break it all down.
Happy Thanksgiving. I can't believe that even that now is a political issue. It is a real shame what's happened to this holiday, which used to be all about the good F's: food, friends, family, football, fun. And now it's you. You're not even invited because you voted for the wrong person. I'm so tired of liberals ghosting half this country. Conservatives do it too, but not nearly as much. Look, whoever's doing it, it's got to stop, because we're at a point now where politics has broken up more families than letting your wife see your phone.
You may have caught this clip before, but the takeaway runs deeper. Ma highlights the far left's ongoing attacks on Thanksgiving, a holiday designed to bring people together. In his view, the left only values celebration if everyone at the table shares identical beliefs, turning gratitude into a political test.
Now, on the liberal side, there's two camps now. The "we need to keep talking to people" wing and the "go no contact" wing. That's what they call it now, go no contact. This belief that Trump voters, even if it's your own parents, are too deplorable for human contact and must be cut off. You know, like Scientologists do to suppressive people. A former speechwriter for Obama named David Litt wrote an op-ed this year called "Is It Time to Stop Snubbing Your Right-Wing Family?" where he admitted he'd had a change of heart, and that was the wrong approach. So, of course, then the woke wing tried to banish him for breaking ranks on their policy of hating people who don't agree with you on everything, because what fun is life if you're not cutting somebody off?
The far left frequently finds problems everywhere, turning even simple traditions into points of conflict. On Father's Day, they criticized it as promoting patriarchy. On Halloween, certain costumes were labeled offensive. Now Thanksgiving faces backlash, with claims that it forces people to sit with those holding different opinions. Some even argue there's nothing to be grateful for, dismissing a holiday centered on family, gratitude, and togetherness. This constant scrutiny transforms celebrations meant to bring people together into sources of division. It's a sharp reminder that the joy of basic traditions is being politicized, leaving holidays exposed to ideological attacks instead.
Molly McNerney, Jimmy Kimmel's wife and head writer, went public on this topic recently, so I feel it's fair to comment respectfully in public. She says she's lost relationships with relatives because she wrote them an email before the election with 10 reasons why they shouldn't vote for Trump, and some still didn't obey. So, you know. 10 reasons. I can think of 100. But I would never present it to someone as an ultimatum. Ultimatums don't make people rethink their politics. They make them rethink you.
And he's right. Telling people to skip Thanksgiving just because they're unhappy or disagree with others says more about them than the holiday itself. It silently exposes character. Thanksgiving is meant for gratitude, reflection, and connection. Yet some let ideology overshadow basic decency. What does it say about our culture when people refuse to appreciate or share a meal simply because they disagree? Ma's point lands hard. Gratitude shouldn't be conditional, and turning Thanksgiving into a political test only reveals resentment, not virtue.
Somewhere along the way, my values became code for "I'm the only one with a moral compass." You know what would have been a better exercise? Write a top 10 list to yourself where you try to imagine 10 reasons why 77 million Americans didn't want to trust you with taking power. And I say that as someone who votes Democratic. As I like to remind my very pure friends, we voted for the same person. You're just why she lost.
And he's right. During his presidency, Trump had nearly half the country cheering him on, backing his policies and vision with passion. But the truth is, no election ever wins unanimous support. No candidate or platform can satisfy everyone. That's why respecting differing opinions is essential. Healthy debate and contrasting perspectives are what keep democracy alive. Rather than dismissing or attacking those with opposing views, we should recognize the range of voices in the political arena and engage thoughtfully, understanding that disagreement doesn't equal disrespect.
Do you really not get it at this point? Everything with him is done through personal relationships. He's a people guy. Trust me, he's not at home at night poring over the briefing books. This is government by people is saying. If anything, we need more people like me having dinner with him. You complain he's surrounded by ass-kissers, but your strategy is to make sure no one but ass-kissers are around him? You are not serious people.
The main reason so many left-leaning critics seem bitter this Thanksgiving is straightforward. Trump is in the White House. His presence sets off a spiral of outrage. Instead of processing political disappointment calmly, they turn him into a caricature and devote endless energy to attacking him. They mock, exaggerate, and frame him as the symbol of everything wrong in the country. Yet despite all the fury, many know very little about who he truly is, his beliefs, or the policies he has enacted. Their anger is reactive and emotional rather than fact-based. Instead of separating personal feelings from national traditions, they allow resentment to spoil a holiday meant for gratitude, family, and reflection. Rather than pausing to give thanks or peacefully coexist for a single day, they choose bitterness. This selective outrage says far more about their mindset than it does about Trump.
Rachel Maddow went to Dick Cheney's funeral yesterday. We can do this, people. It's Thanksgiving. Do yourself a favor, get over yourself, and go have it with your family.
Yes, it's Thanksgiving. Differences of opinion don't have to ruin a gathering, especially when discussions happen calmly and respectfully. That's what makes family meals meaningful. You can debate, disagree, or even clash, yet still sit together and appreciate one another. Cutting ties just because of how someone voted or what they believe isn't strength or principle. It's emotional and counterproductive. Thanksgiving should rise above politics. It's a time to pause, reconnect, and focus on what still unites us in a divided world. Walking away over an election or a candidate shows how easily political tension can overshadow real connection. Mature individuals can sit at the same table, hear opposing views, and still find reasons to be thankful. Refusing to participate in a family meal doesn't make a bold statement. It highlights how frustration with politics.
Don't be a hypocrite and defend attacks on speech from the left, because you either get the concept or you don't. And sadly, a lot of people don't anymore. Yes, mostly the young who were never taught it by their derelict educational system, but also Lisa Cook. She's the Fed board member Trump is trying to fire for bullshit reasons, and they are bullshit. But when she tried to get another professor fired because he once, according to one student, was less than rapturous about Martin Luther King Day, no, she should know better. She said free speech should have its limits. Yes, it should, and does. And this comes nowhere close to them.
The issue goes beyond holidays. The left has developed a concerning hostility toward free speech. Express an opinion that doesn't perfectly match their worldview, and they don't just disagree. They act. They cancel, label, and create an environment where speaking up feels risky. Debate and dialogue are replaced by punishment. Online, they dig into your history, publicly shame
pressure
you,
institutions
and pressure
to react.
institutions
This can
to
even
respond.
spill over into
Sometimes
workplaces
this
where
even
online
reaches
outrage.
workplaces where outrage forces employers to act, turning simple disagreements into career consequences. And if that's not extreme enough, some take it further, urging friends or even spouses to cut ties. This isn't tolerance or progress. It's ideological intimidation masquerading as moral superiority. Instead of protecting diversity of thought, they weaponize outrage to silence anyone who steps outside.
But it also can't become what the UK is now, a place where you get arrested for tweets, something that happens 12,000 times a year now in Britain. Last week, The Irish sitcom writer Graham Linehan, who's won an Emmy and 5 BAFTA awards, got off a plane at Heathrow and got arrested by 5 British cops. Not because he was selling drones to the Houthis, just because he's a crank who spends way too much time online ranting about gender ideology, which is an odd obsession for a comedian from across the pond, because if men weren't allowed to dress as women, British comedy wouldn't exist.
Some say America could have faced problems similar to what Britain is experiencing if the DNC had stayed in power. We're already seeing the UK enter a strange period where people face arrest for social media posts, jokes, or comments. Critics argue the Democrats were moving down that path even faster. Had they remained in control, restrictions on speech could have escalated, with government scrutiny over opinions that didn't fit the approved narrative. Sure, Trump has clashed with certain media outlets, but many overlook that these outlets attacked him first, long before he ever responded. They labeled him harshly twisted facts and ran coordinated campaigns to undermine not just his policies, but his presidency as a whole. Trump's pushback wasn't against free speech, it was retaliation. Meanwhile, the DNC's approach risked discouraging.
But in the words of that great Brit, Ricky Gervais, if you don't believe in a person's right to say things that you might find grossly offensive, then you don't believe in freedom of speech. You shouldn't have to eat your words at the airport. The chicken Alfredo on the flight was bad enough. Linehan may be crude, but there's plenty of non-crazy people, liberal people, who think the left has gone a little mad with trans issues. Some have expressed that opinion with literary sophistication, like J.K. Rowling. Some by getting big laughs, like Dave Chappelle. And some are downright ugly about it, like Linehan. But ugly is the price of a freedom so great as speech.
Getting offended is part of living in a free society. Choosing to defend freedom of speech means accepting that people will say things you dislike, disagree with, or even find annoying. That's both the cost and the privilege of open expression. Of course, freedom of speech has limits. It doesn't protect threats, incitement, or targeted harassment. But it absolutely protects differing political views, challenging opinions, and perspectives that make us uncomfortable. What it does not cover is the modern tendency to cancel someone simply for thinking differently. Disagreeing is normal. Trying to ruin someone's career, reputation, or relationships over a difference of opinion is not accountability. It's authoritarianism masquerading as moral superiority. A healthy society debates ideas rather than destroying people. It allows nuance, complexity, and honest disagreement. Cancel culture, by contrast, treats every opposing view as an attack and every political difference as a reason for exile. True freedom means defending speech you dislike as vigorously as speech you cherish. Without that, liberty disappears, replaced by silence enforced through fear. Ultimately, a society that cannot tolerate disagreement cannot call itself free. Holidays, family dinners, and political debates shouldn't be battlegrounds demanding total conformity. Respecting differing opinions, encouraging open dialogue, and refusing to cancel others are the pillars of a strong democracy. Thanksgiving reminds us that gratitude, connection, and conversation matter more than outrage, and freedom survives only when we defend it together. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit like and subscribe for more content like this.